A parabola. Okay, if you didn't learn about that, you should have heard that word in 8th grade. But if you didn't, it's okay. I'm going to reteach it to you today. All right? But it is called a parabola. So parabolas, this is one of your vocab words. I hope we're listening. Parabolas are what we call the shape of a quadratic function. Quadratic. Y'all, stop. Don't you act like you haven't seen that word quadratic. Remember when we did polynomials? And I would always say, you got 2 quads because y'all kept picking quadratic for 4. Quad means 2. How many sides are there to this graph? Exactly. So hang on. Before we talk about quadratic functions, I need to make sure y'all remember about linear functions and exponential. So a linear function just means it's a straight line. What does the equation of a linear function look like? Y equals extra credit, Gwyneth. Do you remember learning y equals mx plus b? You better. We spent 2 whole daggone months on it. Amaya, you with me, babe? What does the shape of an exponential function look like? Y'all just told me. A J. It shot up really quick or shot down really quick, right? Okay. Tay, I think I heard you say the right thing. What was the equation of an exponential function? Extra credit. A times b to the x. Do y'all remember learning about that? A was the initial and b was the factor. It told you if it growed. Are we listening? It tells you if it grows or if it decays. Do we remember doing that? Yeah. Curtis, I'm reviewing. We got our exam. I don't think y'all realize it's only like 4 weeks away. Yeah, it's hardly any days. So everybody look. If b is bigger than 1, that means it went up, right? It grew. What if it was a decimal less than 1? It decayed. It went down. Very good. So we remember about lines and about exponential functions, right? So all we're doing today is learning about the 3rd type of function. I'm going to keep it 1,000% real with y'all. I think quadratic functions are the easiest. That's why I saved it for the end, because y'all always, every year, my kids are like, you taught us the easy stuff at the end. You should have done it the other way. Let me tell you something about children. Usually when the semester starts, y'all be working pretty hard. That's why most of y'all's R4 grades were better than your R5. Because it was a new semester and you were like, I'm going to get off on a good foot. And then guess what happens? You start getting tired of school. You start getting summer fever, right? Josh is like, yes, I know that's me. So I usually do it backwards and do the harder stuff at the beginning, make it easier. So this 6 weeks should seem easier. So remember your goals we talked about for your grades this 6 weeks. So what we're talking about today is quadratic functions. So I need notebooks out. We're going to make sure our notebooks are right this 6 weeks, because some of y'all's last time were a hot mess. Not looking at no one in particular. I do not on me. I had one in my office if you would have asked. Focus so you can get your homework done and have nothing this weekend. Hang on. I'm going to have to pause because there's too many people. 4B test review is what should be on page 39. Your factoring work from your test review needs to go on 39. We are starting a new unit. So everybody, this is unit 5. What did I say it was on? What kind of functions? Quadratic. Good job, Gwyneth. Quadratic functions. And what we're going to be talking about today, page 40, is the parts of a parabola. So I'm going to pause so y'all can get your notebooks caught up and I can get my babies in person. I'm going to switch to my note sheet. I posted the note sheet on Canvas. If you do not have a printer, then you can, I'll tell you what to write, okay? Because you don't need to write everything. My people in class were using our note sheet that you had to tell me you loved me for. All right, so graphing quadratics. It does say review because you were supposed to learn about these in 8th grade. I know last year was a wash for some of you and you probably didn't get to these. Okay, that's okay. I'm reteaching it today. It's very easy if you are paying attention. because it's also easy to mess up. But if you're paying attention and you know what the things I'm asking for mean, super easy. All right. So standard form of a quadratic function. Look at that word bank. What do you think the standard form equation is going to be? Y equals what? AX squared plus BX plus C. Now, do y'all remember when we did polynomials and anytime it was squared, I told you that meant it was quadratic? Oh, God, I hope so. That was literally right before spring break. It wasn't that long ago, y'all. When we were saying I would give you a polynomial and you had to pick, it was like cubic, quadratic, quintic, quartic. Yes, so quadratic is what you should have picked if there was a 2, because quad means 2. You have 2 quads in your legs. Look at this picture. How many sides of this graph are there? 2. So quadratic means 2, okay? It means it's going to be squared. So now y'all look. The shape of a quadratic is called a what? We already said it earlier. Good. Now listen to me very carefully. I have a funny story. 2 years ago when I was teaching quadratics, we got a kid in our class, added to our class. It was in Taekwondo's class. His name was Riley. He moved here from Louisiana. Riley. I said it funny because he was from Louisiana. That boy came in and said, "Oh, y'all doing parabolas." And I was like, "What? A parabola? It's parabola. Parabola. Say it with me. Parabola. I don't want you saying P word because some of y'all got dirty minds and that goes to something else. Parabola. All right? Parabola. Say it with me. Parabola. All right. So everybody look. The shape of a quadratic is called a parabola. My people at home, I need you to write that standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. And I need you to write in your notebook the shape of a quadratic is called a parabola. You should write those 2 things. So I'm going to pause while y'all do that for a second. All right, so guys, look at 3. If you have a highlighter or something, or you want to draw like an arrow pointing at it, that would be useful. Let me just go ahead and give y'all highlighters, actually. Okay, if you look at 3, 3 is pointing at this dotted line right here. So everybody look at that dotted line for 3. What do you think that is called from your word bank? Oh, good. Axis of symmetry. Why did y'all guess that? Because it makes it symmetric. I like that. What does the word symmetric mean? Straight. Not straight. Same size. It's the same size, yes. Okay, symmetric means it's the exact same on either side. So let me give y'all the best example I can think of. Everybody look up here. You remember in kindergarten when it was Valentine's Day or Mother's Day and you would make your mama a heart-shaped card? I was about to say, don't play your teachers. I know they made y'all do that. They made me do it. And you would fold the paper in half, and then you'd cut out one half, and you'd open it up, and it would be 2 sides. You know what I'm talking about? That's called symmetry when it's the same on both sides. So I want y'all to look at this dotted line. Doesn't it cut the parabola into 2 equal sides? All right, so we're going to write a definition under this. The axis of symmetry is, I don't know why I wrote the word is, it's the imaginary line. I'm going to keep it as short as I can for y'all. That cuts a parabola in half. Now, I'm going to take us way back to Unit 1. Some of y'all I know aren't going to remember it, and it's going to break my heart a little bit, but it's okay. What kind of line is this green line? It is vertical. Before somebody says straight, all lines are straight. Don't make me yell at you. It's vertical. It's up and down, right? What does that equation start with if it's vertical? Nope. X equals I knew somebody wouldn't remember. All right, that's fine. Here we go. Review from unit 1. How many legs does X have? 2. So X equals line stand up. Remember me teaching you that? Hello? So listen, the axis of symmetry is always going to say X equals. I need you to put X equals in that box. My people at home, for this, you should write the equation of axis of symmetry. You don't have to draw the picture, but you need to write the definition. What did I say? Equation? Lord Jesus, I don't know either. Oh yeah, everybody listen. Too many side conversations. You're going to ruin my Zoom. I'm going to get mad. X equals is a vertical line. We talked about that in unit 1. A Y equals line is flat, right? And then if it's got a Y and an X, we talked about how it was slanted because it has a slope. Yes? Yeah. All right. Some of y'all like, nope, I didn't do my work in unit 1, so I have no idea. Okay, everybody look at 4. This is where you need your different color. 4 is pointing at this point right here. So I made it nice, big, and blue. It's pointing at this point right here. What do you think that point is called? The vertex. Very good. So everybody look. The vertex is the turning point of a parabola. So do y'all see? It's hard to see on mine, but look on yours. There's a little point right there, and that's where it stops, right? And then it goes up on one side and up on the other. So the vertex is the turning point of a parabola. And remember, a parabola is just the shape of a quadratic equation. So if you are somebody at home that didn't print it, I need you to write in your notebook, vertex is the turning point of a parabola. Now everybody look, I called it a turning point, right? So what do you think the answer for every vertex is going to be? It's not a trick question. What did I just underline? A point, an ordered pair, which means we write X, comma, Y, right? We're getting back into that. So in your little boxy right here, I need you to put X, comma, Y. Your vertex will always be a point. If you don't put the X and the Y, guess what? It ain't right. I can't give you credit. All right. Look at your wordsy bank. What do you think 5 is? When the vertex is the highest point, what do you think it's called? A maximum. Good. So a maximum means it's at the top, right? Anybody in here lift weights? I know my people who play sports, they make y'all do it a little bit, right? So when you max out, when you're lifting, that means you lift the highest thing you've ever lifted, right? Yeah. So y'all look, I'm going to show you. Everybody look. A parabola that has a maximum, the point is going to be at the top because it's got to be the highest. So I want you to write that. If you're somebody at home without a printer, you need to write the highest point is called the maximum. And I want you to draw that picture just like they did. You don't have to write every word, but write highest point is a maximum and draw that little U. Huh? It's an upside down U, yes. What do y'all think we call the lowest point? A minimum, very good. And the word min literally means at the bottom. So this is gonna be a right side up U, like our picture that I gave you, and the point will be at the bottom. Oh, should be on that phone. You're gonna ask for me to take it. You're gonna ask for me to take it. It's supposed to be in your book bag or parking spot. Is everybody okay with the max and min? Everybody's good? So lowest point, we call that a minimum. Sean, make sure you're with me, baby. Okay, I can't tell because you're facing that way. You also didn't ask me to move. Our solutions are the what? What do you think? Okay, let me ask y'all a question. Do you know what zeros or roots are? That ain't the answer. Try again. Very good. The solutions are the x-intercepts. Now, y'all listen. Do you remember back in Unit 1 when we would solve an equation for x and we called that the solution? Y'all remember that? Anytime you're solving for x, that's the solutions, the x-intercepts. So people at home, you should write our solutions are the x-intercepts. Now your next blank, solutions to quadratic equations can also, I don't like how it says are, they are also called zeros / roots. So hang on, let me make sure everybody's okay with that and then I'll answer your question. So solutions to quadratic equations are also called zeros or roots. And before I answer her question, I want to talk to y'all about this. So is everybody listening right now? Take a highlighter. Don't matter which one. You can pick one. Solutions, x-intercepts, zeros / roots. Highlight all three. All four. Counting is hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because zeros / roots is 2 words. Hang on, let me talk about it first, and then I think I might answer it. And if not, then you can ask it, okay? So hold on to it. All right, everybody listen. Most of us in here have 3 or 4 names. I think Summer has 4 names. I have 4 names. There's some of y'all that have 2 last names, right? Yeah, so some of you have 1. That's great. Listen, a quadratic can have 4 names, okay? I need you to listen. X-intercepts, solutions, zeros, or roots. All 4 of them mean the same thing. So let me break it down for you this way. I hope we're listening because I'm not writing this down. If I hear somebody call me Rebecca, first of all, it better not be any of you because I'll write your butt up. Don't play. That's disrespectful. Don't try it. Every year I have a kid think he's funny and try it. It ain't funny. That's rude, okay? If I hear that, I don't know who's talking to me because nobody calls me that. My friends don't even call me that, okay? No. I ain't gonna tell you what they call me because then somebody's gonna try to say it and be funny, okay? I don't like that name. It's too long. It's a short name for it. It's a nickname, okay? But if I do hear that, it's probably one of my friends. If I'm at the mall and I hear Miss Poole, I know it's one of y'all talking to me, right? If I hear Miss PJ or Miss Jernigan, I know it's another one of my students, right? And then when I'm in trouble with my mama, still at my grown age, if I hear Rebecca Kathleen, I'm like, oh my God, I did something messed up because she's pissed. All 4 different names still refer to what? Me. Same thing here. X-intercepts, solutions, zeros, roots. They all mean the same thing. I'm talking about the x-intercepts. So let's review from Unit 1. X-intercepts are where the graph touches what? X-intercepts are where the graph touches. Thank you, Shia. Dear God, it's called an x-intercept. It's where it touches the x-axis. Y'all gonna write that because y'all didn't remember. That's scary. I'm scared. I'm gonna be quiet for about a minute. Y'all are in timeout. Everybody write this. That's where it touches the x-axis. Dear God. You better write it down because none of y'all said it except for Shia. Shia, you don't have to write it if you don't want to. A y-intercept is where the graph will touch the y-axis. Very good. I really thought y'all would remember that. I'm scared. All right, I'm going to pause because I got some questions. Okay, so people at home, you do not have to write this unless you want to. I'm totally fine if you weren't able to print it off, if you just watch on this part. When I ask y'all for the number of roots, who can tell me what a root is? It means the same thing as a 0, which means the same thing as a hang on, let me stop. A root just means a what? Say it again. At x-intercept, everybody look at me. And x-intercept is where it touches the what? X-axis. Thank you, Shia. Everybody take a highlighter. Don't matter which one. I want you to highlight your x-axis. That is the horizontal one with the x. Highlight it. Everybody highlight it. So when I say number of roots, I'm asking you how many x-intercepts there are. Can somebody tell me how many times? Wait a second. Y'all got too much going on over there. Can somebody tell me how many times this U touches my highlighted line? How many times? Once. Number of roots is just one. So when you look at these, you should be able to tell me how many x-intercepts it has. Is everybody okay with that? The x-axis. Roots mean x-intercepts, which means you look at the x-axis. Yep. Now, let me give y'all an example. Where are the roots of a tree at? They start at the ground. Y'all think about it. Ground level is at what? 0. And the ground is horizontal. It ain't vertical. We ain't in an alternate universe. So that's why they're called roots. That's like the real life name of them, okay? Think about a tree in the ground. As soon as you get to the ground, the roots start. So the roots of a parabola are right at ground level, at 0. And that's why it's called zeros, because it's at 0. It's where it's at ground level. They all mean the same thing. They're all synonyms. So everybody look. On the second one, let's try it. Highlight your x-axis. How many times does it touch? 0. So do you have any roots on that one? No, and that's okay. It's okay to have no x-intercepts. That means it starts either above or below and doesn't touch the ground, and that's okay. So it's got 0. So highlight the x-axis, because it says roots again. Highlight the x-axis on your third one. Nobody blurt it out. Just highlight the x-axis. How many times does your U touch the x-axis on the third one? 2. What y'all looking at? Everybody look. Right here and right here. It touches twice. Are you okay with that? Okay, I'm going to challenge y'all. Everybody listen. Do you think, and don't say something crazy or you're going to make me mad, because some of y'all just be blurting stuff out to hear yourself talk. Listen. Do you think about it, really think. Do you think it can touch more than twice? Don't blur something out. Think about it. Do you think it can ever touch more than twice? Think about it. Think about it. Do you think it can ever touch more than twice? I got some people itching to talk, so I'll take some hands. Who wants to answer? Okay, Tyree, I saw you first. What you think? No, why not? You can have somebody help you out. Why not? What you think?
Because you only got 2 things.
On 2 what?
2 layers.
2 sides. A parabola is a U shape. A U has 2 sides. If you tell me it touches 3 times, where the heck did the third side come from? Yeah, you did something crazy. That's what you did. It can only touch twice. Now, it can also touch once if it touches, the vertex touches right on the X, right? Or it can touch no times if it's above or below, and that's okay. There's always 0, 1, or 2, though. Never more than 2. And then should you have negative x-intercepts? No, y'all. We're talking about a graph. That's a real life thing. It shouldn't be negative, okay? Any questions on the vocabulary before we do a couple examples, and then I'm turning you loose on your classwork and homework. So before you get crazy on me, listen, your classwork is only going to be 3 problems, and then your homework is in Delta Math. It is separate. It's only 10 problems, and you can do them both in 20 minutes. That's why you got 2 different things. That should make some of y'all happy because you're going to get 2 different grades. Easy 100s. Question before we do examples. I'm going to pause. So I am going to do numbers 1 and 2 with y'all. Do not start doing all the other ones because you think you're going to use your time wisely, because I'm not going to make you do all of them. I'm going to pick some. All right? So we're going to do numbers 1 and 2 together as examples. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody's good? All right, so let's go ahead and look at number 1. Where do I look on this graph? I'm going to zoom it in really far for y'all. People at home, you do not have to draw this. You can just follow along, unless you printed it. If you printed it, it would be good to do them. And if you want to draw them or write the answers, that would actually be pretty good too. Where do I look for the vertex? Look on the front. Somebody tell me what the vertex is. The turning point. So where do you see the point? It'll either be at the top or the bottom. Where's the point on this one? It's at the top. Good. Can somebody tell me? I'm calling it a point, which means it should have an X and a Y. Very good. Can somebody tell me what the vertex point would be? Be careful. X comes first. 3, 4. Very good. Everybody look. It's at 3 on the X. Y'all pay attention because I heard some of y'all say 4, 3, and I heard some of you say 2, 4. It's at 3 on the X, and it's at 4 on the Y. So that would be 3, 4. That is the vertex point for this parabola. Is everybody good with the first part? Okay, second question. Is it a maximum or a minimum? It is a maximum. Can somebody tell me why? It's at the top. Skylar looked excited. It ain't that bad, is it? I told you if you pay attention and know what the words mean, it's easy. Now, this is the part that'll trip y'all up. So listen, axis of symmetry. Can somebody flip to the front and tell me what that meant? Good. Cuts the parabola in half. Listen, what kind of line did it say? What was the first word y'all said? Imaginary. This is why y'all mess up on this one, because you can't see it. So where do we draw the imaginary line to cut it right in half? In the middle. So everybody look. Remember, what kind of line was it? I knew somebody was going to say straight. Y'all, all lines are straight. Can you say it again? Who was that? Vertical. Everybody look. Tay, you paying attention? The vertical line down the middle. So can y'all tell me what number that vertical line goes through? It does go through 3. So who remembers on the front what I said it's going to say in front? What equals? Very good. So X equals 3. That's it. You draw that line down the middle. Whatever number it goes through, it's X equals that. It's not bad as long as you're paying attention. Y'all gonna have classmates at home who didn't join Zoom try to do it without watching the video, and they gonna get zeros. Because if you don't know what they mean, you can't do it. It's hard. All right, y'all, zeros. My paper's moving. We got the ghosty back. What does the word zeros mean?
X-intercept.
Good. So David, what do we look at?
How many times the line touches the x-intercept?
I love that. The x-axis. Everybody highlight your x-axis. Highlight it. Now, this is what's different from what we did on the front. I'm not asking you how many. Does this say how many? No. So I want you to actually tell me what they are. Did everybody hear me say that? If you put 2, that is wrong. I didn't ask how many back here. I want to know what they are. So who can tell me what 2 numbers it touches the x-axis at? What's 1? Oh, okay. 1 and, it ain't 6. 1 and 5. Now, y'all listen before somebody writes 1 and 5. That ain't it either. What are those called where it touches? Starts with a P. No, points. Look, those are 2 points. Is everybody watching? Those are points. How do you write points? X, comma, Y. So let's look. The first one is at 1. That's the X. What's the Y value? Yeah, that's why it's called a 0. 1, 0. The Y will always be 0 because it's an x-intercept. We learned about that in Unit 1 also. Anytime it's an x-intercept, the Y should be 0, right? Hang on. 1, 0. Is everybody okay with that? How would you name the other point? 50. Very good. And now I'll take your question. What's up, babe? Huh? Not right now. Not right now. We ain't doing that yet. You getting ahead of me. You like 4 days ahead of me. It's okay though. All right. This bottom one we didn't talk about yet. It's very easy. Direction of opening. So listen, if you make a U shape with your arms or your hands or whatever, this one is starting at the top, right? Everybody look at me. I look like a little bird. Starting at the top and it's going down. Do y'all agree? So which way is it opening? Down. That's it. So direction of opening, down. If the point is at the top, that means it is opening down. And then last but not least, y'all, the y-intercept. What do I mean by y-intercept? Where am I going to look? Good. Look at the y-axis. So take your other color, highlight your y-axis. That's the vertical one. Where is it touching that y-axis at? Oh, are y'all sure? Some of y'all need glasses.
Comma -5.
-5, and I love what David said, and some of y'all weren't listening, so I'm going to say it again for him. He said 0, comma, -5. It's got to be an ordered pair. Now listen to me, because some of y'all are going to put the 0 in the wrong spot. The x value, because remember with an ordered pair, x comes first, right? Tell y'all with me? The x value is at 0. It's the y that's at -5. So it should be 0 first, then -5 for this one. Does that make sense? You got to name your points right, or I can't give you full credit. If you just put -5, I don't know what that means because there's 2 -5s on the graph. Do we understand? It's got to be an ordered pair. All right, let's do one more, and then I'll tell y'all what your classwork is, and then you can do your homework when you finish that. Getting 2 grades today. Oh, we'll do this one. That's fine. All right, the vertex. Let's do number 2. Everybody look. Here's my vertex. Remember, it's the turning point. Can somebody tell me what that ordered pair would be? Are we all looking at number 2? Okay, be careful. I'm wondering if we're all quiet because we're trying to figure out what that would be at. Is that why we're quiet? Isn't it in between 8 and 10? Exactly, so it would be 9. -4. I love that y'all said the x first this time, though. That was very good. X first, -4, then -9. Because it's in between 8 and 10, so that would be 9. And it went down, so that means it's negative, right? Yes? Yeah. All right, fantastic, Rodney. Rodney, does this have a max or a min? A min, very good, because it's at the bottom, right? Look at Rodney go. That boy said, yeah. All right, listen, the axis of symmetry is what kind of line? I knew it. Don't you say straight. Vertical, but also it starts with an I. Imaginary. Sean said imaginary. That makes me think of SpongeBob. Imagination. You know what I'm talking about? So if it's imaginary, y'all, you have to draw it. So everybody look, go right to the middle, draw you a vertical line. Right through the middle, draw a vertical line. What number does it go through? So what are we going to write? Yes. What? Y'all are so smart. X equals -4. Very good. I told you these were easy, didn't I? Not too bad. X equals -4. You confused about what, baby? About the front? Okay. The front was all the vocab. We're actually doing the math now. The x equals -4. How do I find zeros? Lord Jesus. X-axis. Yes. Highlight your x-axis, children. Zeros means x-axis. Think about where the ground would be. Now listen, before y'all just blurt out numbers, these are points. So can somebody raise your hand, tell me one of the ordered pairs, one of the points? What you got, Tyree? Okay, he said -1, 0. I like that. Tay, you got my other one? What you got, baby? Very good. Does anybody have questions on that? -1, 0 and -7, 0. In Delta Math, you would literally type the ordered pair in. So you'd put parenthesis, number, comma, number, parenthesis. Yep. If there's 2 of them, you can type the word and in between. All right, y'all, direction of opening. Everybody look up here. I'm going to do my little bird sign again. Everybody look. Start at the point. It's at the bottom. And then it goes up. So direction of opening is very good. If it's up, then it's up, and it's up. Don't do that. I've done the TikTok to that sound. All right, and then last but not least, everybody, y-intercept, highlight your y-axis. For y-intercept, highlight your y-axis. Y'all got to be really careful on this one. I want you to zoom in if you got to. I'll do it up here. Y'all zoom in by putting your eyeballs closer to the paper. Where does it look like it crosses?
7.
Yeah, I think it crosses right in between 6 and 8, which would be at 7. So how do we write it as an ordered pair? Yes. 0, 7. Excellent work, y'all. So listen, I'm going to keep the Zoom up in case anybody has questions before y'all leave. Don't you go nowhere. Your classwork is to pick, I'm going to be really nice because I'm just feeling nice today. You're going to pick 2 more of these. I don't care which ones. Pick 2 more. My people in class, you can tell me when you're done. I'll come by and check it. My people at home, you'll submit it on Canvas. 2 more of these. And then you also have a Delta Math. It's very fast. So look at me. Let me see eyeballs. The Delta Math doesn't ask for everything like this worksheet does. It literally asks for 1 thing each question. I swear to God. I don't like doing that though, so I'm gonna take it back. I promise. Okay? It's very easy. Curtis, look at me. I don't want any of you face-to-face or you on Zoom doing this Sunday. I want it done now. Go ahead and get it done. You ain't got nothing to do this weekend, okay? So we're picking 2 more of these to do. I don't care which ones, pick 2. And then you're gonna go do your Delta Math. Sound good?